What is going on YouTube? I am back with a brand new video. You're hanging out with your boy Pops, and this is Casual Hip Hop. This is episode 4 of the series, baby. This is episode 4. If you want to watch the first couple of episodes, 1 to 3, there's gonna be a link in somewhere in the description or at the end of the video. But yeah, this is super exciting, guys. Firstly, I just wanted to give a shout out to everyone who sent me messages and just gave me feedback regarding the last couple of episodes. It's been very, very touching to get those words of encouragement. And as you know, like this is a passion, a bit of a passion project for me. So yeah, it's just lovely to get those those positive feedback from you guys. It's just very, very much appreciated. All right, I'm not gonna waste any more time. We'll dive right into it. So what's been happening in the world of hip hop? Well, firstly, Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar has got the internet buzzing again. If you don't know, there's a leaked version of a track called Elements, which was off Kendrick's album Damn, which was released back in 2017. And this leaked version has Kendrick sending disses at a few rappers, including, Big Sean, French Montana, Electronica, and some are even saying that there's some shots there at Drake, but I don't know. Like we'll dissect it and have a chat about that. My initial thoughts when I heard about this was this has got to be AI technology, because as you know, like if you've heard that track, I think there's a track out there released by some guy where it sounded like Drake and The Weeknd. And the bloody thing sounded real as fuck. I forget the name of the track, but yeah, you guys know the one I'm talking about, right? Bumping Justin Bieber, the fever ain't left. Ah, man, that track was bumping. But yeah, that was a track that was made using AI. And to me, it just kind of goes to show just how far AI technology has come. Yeah. So my initial thoughts when I heard this version of Elements, I was like, oh no, it's gotta be AI technology, but apparently it's not. And the word is like the track, I think, or some portions of it had leaked years ago. And so like apparently this is legitimate, guys. This is fucking authentic. Yeah, some of the vocals for this track ended up making it to the final version that was on the album. But on this version, the chorus, is a little bit different. And I believe it's the second verse. The second verse was just very, very different. And that's where Kendrick takes direct shots at the likes of these rappers. So like I'll read it, and so it goes like this: going digital and physical on all y'all. Fuck subliminals. I put you on that roll call. French Montana speaking on me in interviews. Very cynical. Dry hating something I don't approve. Electronica put silencers on my Grammy night. Another dead prophet hoping that God will give him life. Damn. Big Sean keeps sneak dissing. I'll let it slide. I think his false confidence got him inspired. I can't make them respect you, baby. It's not my job. You finally famous for who you date, not how you rhyme. Oh man. All right, I'll continue. Cute ass raps get your PBD up, then make you a classic album before you come at us. Drake and Meek Mill beef might get you gassed up, but I'm a whole nother beast. I'll really fuck you up. Oh man, he didn't hold back. He wasn't holding back. It's just very interesting because this makes me wonder, like, what the state of rap would have been had Kendrick dropped this record back at the time, because yeah, this was enough, I think, to cause a fucking frenzy on the whole rap game. I can also understand why he didn't put this version out, because I think it was the right call, just because Damn was a fucking great album, and I think dropping this track, if this version of the track had made it to the album, it would have overshadowed the greatness of that of that actual album, and you don't want the focus of your album to be about the diss tracks and solely that. So I think it will have taken quite a lot of light away from the album. So I think it was a good decision, whether it's by him or by his team, to not release this as part of the album. But I just wanted to take it back. Obviously, there's a lot of shots here at Big Sean. I just wanted to take you guys back to the genesis of where that started from. If you don't know, back in 2013, right before Big Sean was gearing up to release his initial album, Finally Famous, Sean dropped a track featuring Jay Electronica and Kendrick Lamar. And the track was called Control. And boy, oh boy, like that track Control, honestly, like the whole of the hip hop game kind of just came to a stop. It grinded to a halt because this track just stopped everybody on their tracks. And what happened is Kendrick Lamar took very, very, very direct shots at some of the rappers, including some that he mentioned here on this track as well. And essentially, Kendrick challenged everybody, all the rap, like the whole entire rap game, to step their game up. That's all it was. I think, to me, that was the message, the overall message in his verse on Control, just for everybody to step their game up. But at the time, it was very, very nuanced, just because people had kind of shied away from making very explicit disses towards each other in quite a while. So it wasn't very common, but people had kind of stopped that. People, if people had issues with other, if rappers had issues with each other, usually they would trade subliminal disses. And but this just kind of pushed it kind of pushed it almost back to the way things were in the old school back in the day. People that came up, like Jay-Z versus Nas, 50 Cent versus Ja Rule. Like those were some serious beefs, and those guys went at each other, right? There was no holding back. With Eminem in there as well, like there was no holding back. So it was a very different time, and I think those kind of I guess those methods of beefing, unfortunately, always kind of led to serious harm, like to conflict, physical conflict, that went off wax, that went off outside of music. So it was just it became, and then rap kind of shifted a little bit, and then people just stopped trading those very explicit and very direct shots, and it became more subliminal. And so for Kendrick Lamar to just go out of his way and just essentially name call or name drop everybody that he named, that he mentioned on the Control verse, was just very new, and was almost like whoa, what's happening here, son? Like, did he really just say what I think it? Yep, he fucking said it. I'm gonna pull up the Control verse and just read a little passage from his from Kendrick's verse, just so to give you guys some context for those of you who don't know. Big Sean had a really great verse in that song, very long song, a very long verse, but Kendrick pretty much just took the whole fucking track. I almost just made it his own. But so these are the lyrics these are the lines that Kendrick had. He said, "I'm usually homeboys with the same niggas I'm rhyming with, but this is hip hop, and them niggas should know what time it is." And that goes for Jermaine Cole, J. Cole, Big Crit, Wale, Pusha T, Meek Mills, A$AP Rocky, Drake, Big Sean, Jay Electronica, Tyler, Mac Miller. Then he goes on to say, I've got love for you all, but I'm trying to murder you niggas. I'm trying to make sure your core fans never heard of you niggas. They don't want to hear not one more noun or verb from you niggas. What is competition? I'm trying to raise the bar high. Who trying to jump and get it? you know. So and then he just goes on and on and on. But that was to me like, you know, that little bit there kind of summed up the entirety of what Kendrick was trying to say through that verse. And that's for all the rappers to step their game up, you know, because rap, I think at that point, rap had become very, very stale and very repetitive, and no one was doing anything innovative anymore. No one was trying to, like, you know, challenge. And this was a way for him to challenge the status quo, and get people thinking about, you know, making something more original and being more meaningful, and not just, you know, regurgitating the same kind of shit over and over again. And I think it was very successful. And yeah, Kendrick, I think, definitely achieved what he wanted to do through dropping that control verse. But you know, fast forward, you know, years later, because I think that was the genesis of the feud that started with between Kendrick Lamar and Big Sean, because ever since that control verse, you know, people kind of looked. I think people were looking at Sean, or people were definitely overlooking Big Sean, because his verse was just very. No one really talked about Big Sean's verse, and no one talked about Jay Electronica's verse either. People will literally skip Big Sean's first verse just to go to Kendrick's verse and play that, and then fucking turn the fucking song off. Yeah, so no one was even trying to hear Jay Electronica's verse as well. It was all about Kendrick. Kendrick, you know, had the spotlight, and I think, you know, that made Big Sean feel a type of way, because I think, you know, Big Sean was. I think he felt he was, you know, just a rightful candidate as well. Like he was, I think, you know, Big Sean could hold his own. You know what I mean? Like Big Sean can fucking rap. But I think, you know, this song just Kendrick's presence on that song just overshadowed Big Sean and anything that Jay Electronica fucking. I couldn't even, for the life of me, I'm telling you, I couldn't even remember anything that fucking Jay Electronica said on that song. I can kind of remember there's some quotable lines in there, like that Big Sean had on his verse. I think there's a line in there where he said, "I'm trying to be better than everybody that's better than everybody." Let me just find out. He had a lot of, you know, quotable lines in there, but I'm telling you, it's not even, you know, comparable to Kendrick's verse, unfortunately, because Kendrick just fucking took that motherfucker and just like, oh, fucking that nigga just killed that shit, killed the fuck out of that shit. But look, yeah, and then I think obviously following Control, there's always been that tension, I think, between Kendrick Lamar and Big Sean, because I think everywhere that Sean went, you know, the conversation all just revolved around that verse, and I think as a rapper, you know, you don't want to ever feel like another rapper, you know, has an edge on you, or is better than you in any way. So I think it's just, as a rapper, you're meant to feel like the best fucking rapper ever. So I can understand why, you know, like someone like Sean will feel the way that he feels, because Sean is fucking nice. Sean, like, don't be fooled. Sean is fucking nice, right? And I think it's just unfortunate because Kendrick fucking took the spotlight, because unfortunately he had an edge. You know, he just dropped. At that time, he dropped his classic album, Good Kid, Mad City, and that was just a phenomenal. It was very, very well received by the game, and he kind of, like, you know, it made him like a staple, I guess, yeah, in the house of hip hop. You know, like it was a moment in time. But yeah, throughout the years, Sean and Kendrick, you know, traded subliminal disses back and forth with each other, and I think then in 2016, I believe 2016, Big Sean released a song called "No More Interviews," and because every interview he went to, the first thing that people want to know was like something in relation to Kendrick Lamar, like how you feel about that, and Kendrick this and Kendrick that and Kendrick that. Oh my fuck. Yeah, so I can understand, Sean will have been fucking just over it, and I think Sean felt like, and he let it be known in the verse that he dropped on normal interviews. So he said, so Sean raps in normal interviews, he said, and I'm just not impressed by you niggas rapping fast, who sound like one big asthma attack, but trash when I'm rapping it back. Who you put in your top 5 and claim that they the savior of rap. Yes, so this is obviously, like, although it's not exactly explicit, or it wasn't explicit towards Kendrick. You can kind of figure it out. Like, at that time, Kendrick was considered as the savior of rap. He was on the quest to change the whole fucking landscape of rap, and nobody was gonna fucking stop him. And I think he even proclaimed himself as such. So he didn't shy away from that. And but the difference is Kendrick Lamar actually delivered. He actually delivered, right? So he dropped his like Following Good Kid, Mad City, which was fucking well received and critically, it was well received. He dropped To Pimp a Butterfly, which was critically acclaimed, and just very, very, very well received. And that album, earned him quite a lot of Grammys. He won quite a lot of Grammys because of that album. And to me, if you're gonna consider anyone to be the savior of rap, I think Kendrick Lamar was that person, and I still think to a great degree he's still that person, and he's proved himself time and time again. You know what I mean? So I don't think it was a case of him just saying and having nothing to back, to back what he's, what he stands for, or he actually delivered. He demonstrated that through his albums. To Pimp a Butterfly was well received, but at the same time, I think this is where I wanted to just have a chat about, because obviously, like, in addition to Sean feeling a type of way about this, other rappers felt a type of way about this as well. This included French Montana. So French Montana was, at the time, there was this whole narrative going around about why street music or street hip hop wasn't selling as much as like the conscious kind of rap. So I felt like there was a huge kind of like dichotomy. So we on one hand we've had the street rappers, so Meek Mills and the French Montanas and there's so many of them. And then on the other hand, you've got people like the likes of Kendrick Lamar, who on J. Cole, who were like the leaders of the new school, and their material was more conscious, and the conscious stuff, and then on that hand as well, you've got like the likes of Chance the Rapper as well, who was doing, I think, very, very conscious music. But you've got those guys were the reigning kind of hip hop heavyweights at the time. They were selling, right? So their content was selling much, much more than the street music. And I think French Montana then goes on the Breakfast Club, and he was asked this question: why do you think that hip hop, the street music, isn't selling as much as the conscious hip hop? And French Montana's response was just very interesting, because he didn't directly say it, but he kind of alluded to the fact that the entire rap game didn't sound didn't sound like Kendrick Lamar or like the music that he's making, and that the gatekeepers of rap are essentially positioning Kendrick Lamar in a particular way, because they wanted to change the landscape of hip hop, and he makes reference to Kendrick Lamar winning all these Grammys on Grammy night, and essentially saying that he's being positioned that way, without really. So he said it without saying it, which is why I think Kendrick have that line in there about him sneak dissing, because then he goes on further to put it back to Charlemagne and said that you're not bumping that stuff, like, you know, you're not bumping his kind of, you know, music, and to which Charlemagne responds that yeah, he I think he appreciates the album, but I don't think he's really bumping Kendrick's, you know, To Pimp a Butterfly like that, which just kind of further, I guess, validates what French Montana was trying to say. That yeah, the streets don't fuck with Kendrick Lamar, and he's on some other stuff, and you know, this is more like the gatekeepers of the music industry trying to position Kendrick Lamar that way, but ultimately trying, you know, he's alluding to the idea that the streets don't fuck with Kendrick Lamar, which is just super disrespectful, because this is wildly inaccurate, because people, you know, everywhere, you know, the album, Kendrick Lamar's album, was very well received, and on To Pimp a Butterfly he had very notable singles like Alright, which was fucking well received, and so yeah, this is just very, very widely inaccurate, and so yeah, I think reflecting on, you know, the lines that Kendrick Lamar directed at French Montana, it's like, yeah, right, I get it, you know. French Montana speaking on me in interviews, very cynical, dry hating, something I don't approve. My man's just fucking dry hating, and he got some fucking lines for your ass. That's what that was. And in relation to J Electronica, was kind of similar, very, very similar. J Electronica was doing the same kind of thing, except Jay is just, yeah, Jay did it in a way where I think he was he went on live on Periscope, which is like, yeah, just another live streaming fucking service, a live streaming app, and someone asked him, I think somebody asked him a question about that, and he's just like, he tried to, like, you know, sun Kendrick Lamar, and say that, you know, like, the only song that he fucks with Kendrick Lamar is, I think there's a song featuring Gunplay, but other than that, like, you know, like we don't know what that man's about, like what we don't know what he's on about, you know, like trying to essentially push Kendrick Lamar to the side and trying to diminish his impact on the game. Like, the streets don't really fuck with you, like the streets aren't really fucking with you like that, my man, which is, yeah. And then he tried to essentially, he goes on, he just talks very, very, very reckless, who's extremely reckless, but very, very similar to what French Montana was saying. They're trying to push this narrative that the streets aren't fucking with Kendrick Lamar the way that it's made out to be, and whatever he's doing, you know, with his music, that's like over there, man. Like, it's on over there. Like, we don't fuck with that, which was, yeah, the kind of like the growing narrative. In regards to Drake, I think, look, the thing with Drake is, like, Drake's never been, look, even in the initial On the Control song, like, he name drops Drake amongst all these other rappers, but it was never something personally targeted towards Drake. I think my assessment of this is like,